Oh, thanks, Sam. And thanks for your patience with last week. Sorry it was such a frustrating experience, but I'm glad you got to see the video. So, looks like things are working okay this time, thank goodness. We'll get started in about a minute. Okay, it is time. Hey everybody, thanks for being here. I'm Jill, and I'll be guiding us through the 60-minute Power Vinyasa class. We will wrap up our multi-week series on symmetrical arm balances. So today we'll add on from crow, forearm stand, we'll add on handstand, which is it's my favorite personally, but it's not the favorite of everybody, and it always depends on what's going on physically in your body as to whether something is a beneficial pose for you at the moment or not. So of course there'll be things to do otherwise, but that's where we're headed today. You may find a block handy today, or anything that is supportive like a block. Cool. We'll begin today lying down on your back in any way that feels comfortable and supportive. So it could be with knees bent or legs straight. I'm going to take a pose that some people call constructive rest or fallen bridge, and that's where you step your feet out wide and you let your knees knock in together. Whatever you're doing with your lower body, I invite you today to bring your hands to your torso. Let your shoulders melt into your mat. Maybe walk your shoulder blades under a little, closer together. And then give yourself a few breaths of relative stillness. Feel like you're sinking into the mat a little bit. And sinking in the sense of being completely supported, completely held. These last few weeks, we've been talking about poses as tools to teach us about ourselves, and using particularly arm balances and inversions to teach us about resilience. Because for most of us, arm balances and inversions are something that requires repeated practice, not something that we are able to do the first time for the whole repertoire of poses. Sometimes there's one or two that happens, but generally it's something we have to come back to over and over again and build up to and build onto. And so I'll remind us that resilience is not no bad days. Resilience is coming back, bouncing back, recovery. It's tapping into that inner strength, and it's adapting and making changes when necessary. So I invite you to take on that idea of tapping really deeply into your inner strength as we move through practice today. Let's take an expansive breath in through your nose. Let go of an open mouth exhale. One more clearing breath like that, a really full breath in. Feel your ribcage expand underneath your hands. And then open mouth release, let it contract. Let that breath go. Let's add hamstring stretch here. Continue to breathe really steadily, really rhythmically. Inhales and exhales about the same length. Relax your left leg long to the floor and extend your right leg up. Leg as straight as you can. And for right now, let the strength of your leg help to add the stretch. So when you engage your right quads, you're adding on to the stretch of your right hamstrings. Press your heel away from your hips. Flex your toes back towards your knee. And take a moment here to allow the stretch to unfold. with no assistance from anything else, just from your own leg. It's both stretching and strengthening at the same time. Good. And now to add a little bit of strength building in this stretch, I invite you to wrap your hands around the back of your thigh or knee. And like you're trying to press your right heel down to the floor, you're trying to relax your right leg down, gently press your right leg down, but resist with your arms. And so the benefit of this adding resistance is to build strength in different muscle fibers of your hamstrings towards the end range of motion, but it may help to hydrate your fascia, which may help to make your muscle strength more available in your full range of motion. Let's take another breath in. Now on this breath out, release your right leg. Now allow it to relax down to the floor and switch. So send left leg up. And we'll start again. So press your heel away from your hip, flex your toes back towards your knee, engage your left quads. Take a moment to allow some opening along the back of your left leg. So this hamstring stretch comes in really handy for especially forearm stand and handstand as a way to get into the shape. There are many, many different ways to get into those particular poses. Today we'll be working on L hops, or sometimes they call them V hops. We'll be working on that shape. All right, let's add the resistance. Wrap your hands around the back of your thigh or knee, like you're trying to press your left heel down to the floor, just gently, and then resist with your arm strength. And so it's an isometric, right? Like there's a dynamic movement. Let it be on the gentle side. So not max effort, just a little bit. Take one more breath in. And on your breath out, release your left leg down. Extend your arms towards the back of the room, so full body stretch. Full inhale here. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Wrap your hands either around your shins or around the backs of your thighs. And if you like, take a few rocks side to side. And then rock back to center. Make your way to your hands and knees. Take all the time you like. Find yourself on all fours. And then to warm up spine, once you're in your hands and knees, let's take classic cat-cow. So inhale, drop your belly, look forward. Exhale, round your spine, press the floor away, allow your head to drop. Let's do it again. Inhale is cow pose, move through the full range of motion. And then exhale, cat, round back. Take about 2 or 3 more rounds on your own. And think about movements starting from your head, ending at your tailbone, and then starting from your tailbone, ending at your head. So you're articulating every single set of vertebrae. And then when you're ready, come back to neutral. Let's add a wrist stretch since we're thinking about arm balances and inversions, lots of wrist flexion here. So start by rotating your fingers out to, is that 90 degrees? So back to the long edges of your mat if you're using a mat. And take a moment here to find some stretch across the inner part of your wrist. You're welcome to stay right here. If this is enough of a stretch, stay here, or you can continue to rotate your fingers back, and eventually fingers might point towards your knees. They might not ever point towards your knees. The point is sensation. So if you're feeling a stretch, then you're receiving the full benefit. Let's take one more round of breath here. Point your fingers back forward. Sit back on your heels for just a moment. Let's take a counter stretch for wrists. So use your right hand to draw your left fingers back. So last time we were flexing fingers towards like your forearm, and now we want to flex them back towards like the inner part of your arm here. When you're ready, switch. Draw your right fingers back. And then as you release, you might shake your wrists out. Make your way back to hands and knees, tabletop. And tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Down dog, always okay to move, and especially the first one, maybe it feels really great to pedal your heels down one at a time. Maybe you prefer stillness right away. Whichever or any version you're taking of downward facing dog, be sure you're doing it with breath and with an eye towards alignment. So for alignment here, we're looking for really a lot of support in shoulders. So you might imagine that your shoulders are trying to press the mat away. And you might feel like your shoulder blades are kind of rotating outward. They're protracting. So find that sense of sending shoulders away from ears, and then using your finger pads to add more stability into your hands. You're in a slight inversion. Your head is below your heart, so you're a little bit upside down. This is a great shape to get used to the idea of using your hands, especially your fingers, for stabilization. In particularly handstand, that idea of stabilizing with fingers is the thing that will keep you in that shape much longer than if you let your hands be inactive. That's what gives you some staying power there. Pull your low belly in and up. Invite length, especially into low back. And then think about heels sinking towards the floor, and it doesn't matter if they ever touch. All right, downward facing dog. Shift forward to high plank pose. High plank is with shoulders right on top of your wrists, and you can always set your knees down if that's healthier for your low back today. You're building strength either way. Make sure that your neck is long. You're not letting your head drop here. And then whichever version of plank you're taking, lift your right leg up. So you're in kind of like a three-legged plank here. Right leg lifts just a few inches off the mat. Take a breath in. And then breath out, right knee to right shoulder. So same shoulder. Feel obliques doing a lot of the work here. So contracting in to pull your knee like you want to tuck it up on top of your shoulder. Now send your right leg back to plank. Take a breath in. So let a breath go. And now as left leg's turn, lift your left leg up, three-legged plank. Inhale. Exhale, knee to left shoulder. Again, use obliques to find that sense of contraction, pulling you up towards your shoulder. Good. Send left leg back, breath in. Down dog, breath out. Full inhale. Full exhale. To fire up core just a little bit more, slightly different version. Come forward to high plank again. Take a breath in. And then exhale, forearm plank. Set one elbow down and then the other. And if it feels right to clasp your hands here, you're more than welcome to. Make sure that your elbows stay underneath your shoulders. And now just slightly send heart forward through your shoulders. You might feel like you're moving your upper body slightly forward towards the front edge of your mat. Keep that engagement for 3. Keep pressing your heels back, heart forward for 2. And then on 1, set your knees down, your hips down, your belly down. Lower all the way down to Sphinx. If your hands are clasped here, release that bind. So your forearms are parallel. You're making that shape kind of like the Sphinx in Egypt. Elbows underneath your shoulders. And to add in a stretch, have a sensation of trying to pull your elbows back towards your hips. Send shoulders away from your ears. Heart forward through your shoulders. Think shoulder blades slightly drawing together now and down your back. And the act of guiding your elbows back might add a stretch in through your frontline abs. Let's take another breath in. And then breath out, lower down, hands underneath your shoulders. So walk your hands back, curl your toes under. With an inhale, high plank pose, or hands and knees if you prefer. Exhale, down dog, lift your hips up and then back. Take a full breath in. Let a full breath go. Down dog, take a breath in again. On your exhale, walk forward, top of your mat, set up ragdoll pose, separate your feet, bend your knees at least a little bit, thread your hands through opposite elbows. And if you like here, you could sway a little side to side. Take an inhale, sway back to center, drop your hands towards the floor. Bring your feet to touch. And inhale brings you all the way up to mountain pose. So inhale, stand up, extend your arms overhead. Exhale, bring hands to heart, thumbs to chest. Take a moment here to breathe, to find that sense of equilibrium, sense of standing in your own strength, standing strong in your own 2 feet. And remind yourself of that inner strength that allows you to come back and try something again, to make subtle changes, to adapt, to find that sense of resilience. Take another breath in. Another breath out. And then it's inhale from mountain pose, arms reach overhead, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, hinge from your hips, hands towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, really long spine, including your neck. And then exhale, forward fold again. With rhythmic breath, inhale, mountain pose, arms overhead, reach up. Hands to heart, exhale. Inhale, reach your arms up, mountain. Exhale, forward fold, bow. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, mountain, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Again, inhale, mountain, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. This time, exhale, step your right foot back for a lunge, right foot back. And then set your right knee down, back knee down. For crescent moon, take an inhale, lift your chest up, your arms overhead, and breathe. Feel like you're pulling into the midline, squeezing left heel, dragging it back, right knee forward. Keep pulling low belly in and up. So the energy is drawing, like it's drawing from the ground and rising up. It's moving in that direction. All the way up through your fingertips, energy to fingertips. Take an inhale. It's an option to look up towards your hands, so really subtle back bend. And then exhale, hands down for plank. Plant your hands, step your left foot back, plank. Hold with strength for an inhale. Lower all the way to your belly on the exhale. Resist as you lower. And then once you're there, untuck your toes. You're set up perfectly for a low cobra. With an inhale, lift your head and chest. And as you breathe here, check that there's very little weight in your hands, and then feel where there is strength building. So start by firming your thighs, so you're supporting low back, and feel hopefully some contraction through mid and upper back. And know that that strength here will serve you in arm balances. It'll serve you in keeping yourself balanced in your day-to-day life as you're kind of reaching forward a lot, rounding forward a lot. Let's take one more inhale here in your cobra. And then exhale, down dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Breath in. And breath out. Step your right foot forward for a low lunge. Set your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, chest and arms up, reach up, breathe. Squeeze into the midline, right heel back, left knee forward. Energy still moving from the ground up and out. Take an inhale. It's an option to look up towards your hands. Exhale, hands down for forward fold. Step your left foot next to right. Inhale, halfway lift, reset your spine. And then exhale, fold. Inhale is mountain, arms up for Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Exhale, hands to heart rather, hands to hearts. Inhale is mountain, arms up for Tadasana. Now exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Left foot back, exhale, low lunge, set your left knee down. Inhale, crescent moon. It's an option to look up right away. Exhale, hands down for plank. Hands down, step right foot back. Press the mat away actively so you're broad through your shoulder blades for the inhale. With control, lower all the way down to belly on the exhale. Good. This time, untuck your toes. Set up for locust. So extend your arms long by your torso. On an inhale, lift everything you can lift. Head, chest, arms, legs, everything up. Breathe. Think squeeze shoulder blades slightly together and down your back. Maybe even point your toes so your energy is going all the way to the very tips of your toes. Feel the strength you're building across the whole back line of your body, building complete core strength. Let's take one more inhale. And then exhale, hands under your shoulders, curl your toes. Inhale for high plank or hands and knees, tabletop. Exhale, down dog. Step your left foot forward. Set your right knee down. Inhale, crescent moon, chest and arms up. It's an option to look up. Exhale, hands down, forward fold, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose, stand up, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, mountain, Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. This time, exhale, plank. Plant your hands, step your feet back. You've been here before. It's always okay to set your knees down. Keep pressing the mat away, low belly strong. So this time, your option is Chaturanga. For Chaturanga, shift your weight slightly forward and then bend your elbows so that they come no more than halfway. Less than halfway is totally great. Keep your neck long. Inhale is upward facing dog, heart forward. Hover your thighs off the mat, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, down dog. Pike your hips up and back with core strength. Take an inhale. Let go of the exhale. Take an inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right shoulder, like earlier in class with a contraction of right side obliques. And now keep the bend in your right knee. Inhale, scorpion dog. Lift your hips up and back. Send your right knee up towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge. Step it through towards your hands. This time, keep your back knee off the mat. Take an inhale, rise up. Lift your chest up, your arms overhead. Reach up for crescent lunge or high lunge. Take a moment to stabilize. Check in with your foundation first. Make sure that toes point forward. Make sure there's a lift in your back heel. And now check in with low back. And if it feels like there's more like compression there than you'd like, bend your left knee and then guide your right hip back. Guide your right hip back energetically anyway. Let's take another breath in. Exhale, low flying crescent. Lean forward, airplane arms. Create resistance for your arms as though they're moving underwater. So you're building strength through that full range of motion. Shift your weight into your right leg. Get light on your back toes. For one-legged mountain, see if you can step forward without any momentum whatsoever. Stand up. Bring your left knee forward. Extend your arms up. And then pause here to stabilize. Stabilize with steady breath. Stabilize with a steady gaze. Stabilize with that sense of inner strength, being able to adapt, to change, make micro changes, macro changes. Let's Let's take another breath in here. Exhale is figure 4. Ankle to your thigh, hands to your heart. Send your hips back, lean forward. Pause here to feel that stretch in the outside of your left hip. And so in previous classes, we've been adding resistance to the reclined version of the shape. Today, we'll add it to the standing version. So take your left forearm, just gently wrap it around the outside of your left knee if that's available. Pull up on your forearm, and at the same time, resist with your knee. A little bit of strength there. Right hand can stay at your heart if you like. Feel that sense of strength and also stretch at the same time. One more moment here. Good, and let's come back up to one-legged mountain. Inhale, left knee forward and up, arms up. Exhale, low flying crescent. Land your left toes soft, airplane arms as you land. Pause for a moment to stabilize. Feel this long line of energy from your left heel all the way through the crown of your head. Inhale this high lunge, arms up overhead, reach up. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Any transition you like. It could be chaturanga, up dog. It could be a plank hold. It could be low cobra. Let's meet in downward facing dog. All right, let's check out the left side. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, knee to left shoulder. Use obliques. Keep your left knee bent. Inhale, scorpion dog. Left knee up towards the sky. And then exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge or high lunge. Chest and arms overhead. Chest up, arms overhead. Breathe. Have a sense of pulling into the midline here, like you want to drag your left heel back. You want to pull your right knee forward just subtly, really like very little engagement, but energetically, that's the direction those two things are headed. Take an inhale. Exhale, low flying crescent. Create your own resistance. Swim your arms back, chest forward. Keep your neck really long. And now start to shift your weight forward. Light on your right toes. Inhale this one-legged mountain. Stand up, right knee forward, arms up. Breathe. Firm your left thigh. Check here that right knee is the same height as your hip. Inhale here. Exhale, figure 4, ankle to your thigh, hands to your heart, hinge forward, hips back. Breathe into that stretch. And now same thing, we'll add the resistance. So right forearm goes around the outside, like the underside of your knee. Gently press your forearm up and resist with your knee. Left hand can stay at heart center. If this is not the right pose for you, you can just keep both hands at heart center or find another shape. If you're resisting, remember it's like not max effort, maybe 10%. Good, we're back to one-legged mountain. Inhale, right knee up, arms up. Exhale, low flying crescent, airplane arms. Land your right toes as lightly as you can. Inhale, arms up for high lunge, chest forward. Exhale, hands to the mat. Any transition, you could go straight to down dog. You could take a locust. You could take a forearm plank. Let's meet in down dog. Down dogs, take a breath in. Let a breath go. On an inhale, prepare to move to the top of your mat. Exhale, bend your knees, step or take a light hop forward. Inhale, add halfway lift, really long spine. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, stand up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let your shoulders drop. So going forward as we move through the flow, you'll have the option to add in crow pose, which we've talked about adding that into the flow in the previous 2 classes. If that doesn't make sense to you, or it doesn't seem like the right thing for you, then leave it out. But if you'd like to try it, here's your chance at adding some crow poses into this class. So here we go. Inhale, arms up for mountain. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift or halfway lift and then crow pose. And then exhale, it could be chaturanga or straight to downward facing dog, up to you. Up dog, if you're taking it, is the inhale. Down dog is where we meet. And now we flow. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee to right shoulder. Keep the bend in your knee. Inhale, scorpion dog. Exhale, step it through, lunge. Inhale, rise up, high lunge, crescent lunge. Exhale, low flying, airplane arms. Left knee forward. Inhale, one-legged mountain. Exhale, figure four. Just the exhale this time, no resistance. Inhale, back to one-legged mountain. Exhale, low flying crescent, airplane arms. Inhale, arms up, high lunge. Exhale, hands down, chaturanga, or maybe it's a low cobra. Inhale is the lift if you're taking it. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, knee to left shoulder. Inhale is scorpion dog, left knee up. Exhale, low lunge. Inhale, rise, high lunge, arms overhead. Exhale, airplane arms, add your resistance. One-legged mountain, inhale, right knee up. Exhale, figure four. Back to one-legged, inhale, arms up. Exhale, low flying, land light as you can. Inhale, arms up for high lunge. Exhale, hands down, your transition, maybe down dog right away, or chaturanga up dog. Down dog is where we meet. Take a breath in. Let a breath go. Inhale, prepare to move forward. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, mountain pose, arms up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Here we go. Inhale, halfway lift or halfway lift and then crow. Exhale. Maybe this time you'd like to try shooting your legs back to chaturanga with core strength. Inhale, upward facing dog or skip it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Let a full breath go. Stay for another inhale. Another exhale. Good, down dogs. Let's turn it into dolphin. So set one elbow down, one forearm down, and then the other. You might walk your feet a little closer towards your hands. And for right now, I invite you to keep your palms flat on the floor rather than clasping your hands together. Actively press the floor away so you feel that sense of broadness through your shoulders. So when you actively press the floor away, it means you're supporting your shoulder joints with musculature instead of collapsing into a little bit of flexibility. So keep breathing in your dolphin pose. Not here much longer. And now dolphin. If you like it, you could clasp your hands together as we head towards forearm plank. So walk your feet back until you feel or maybe see that your shoulders are pretty much in line with your hips. And now to make this forearm plank more intense, to engage more core strength muscles, imagine that you are trying to drag your elbows towards your toes and your toes towards your elbows. Keep that strong engagement, elbows to toes, toes to elbows. Keep it for 3, 2. Lower knees, hips, belly down on 1. Unclasp your hands if they're clasped, so come back to Sphinx pose. Think shoulders together and down your back, heart forward and through your shoulders. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Walk your hands back. And this time, press yourself up to a seat. Take a moment here. So that engagement of pulling elbows to toes and toes to elbows was a strong frontline core engagement. And of course, we can feel rectus abdominis, which are the superficial muscles. And I mean superficial just meaning like they're the ones on top, but also rectus transverse abdominis. So that thin, like smooth layer of muscle underneath that is a little bit harder in a way to be aware of, partly because we can't see it as well, but just because of the way it's set up. But that was engaged too. And those are the muscles that we are going to use really strongly in forearm stand and handstand to keep ourselves upright. So we're going to head towards forearm stand briefly right now. If you want to find wall space, if you have it available, now's a good time to find it. I'm going to move my mat just a little bit. And if you don't have it or don't want it, then stay right where you are. All right, so for right now, I'm going to pretend like the front of my mat is now here. So everything will be oriented this way. All right, let's meet back in downward facing dog. Down dogs, remember, press the mat with your shoulders, use your hands to stabilize. In forearm stand, that's not quite as much of a factor. You're more stabilizing from that shoulder flexibility and from core strength, but it'll come in handy soon. All right, so let's come back to dolphin pose, set one forearm down and then the other. And here's, if you liked it the other time, if you like that block as like a guide for your hands, then you might use it here too. So it'll be block on the lowest setting, hands wrap around it. Let's just keep your hands from pulling in towards each other. All right, forearm stands if you're heading into it. It's from dolphin. Let's say we lift right leg up. We'll give ourselves 3 hops on this side, 3 hops on the other side. It's just 3 hops to see if we get it. Hop up with the strength of your left leg and think shoulders on top of hips. Remind yourself that especially if you have a wall nearby, that will stop you from going too far. 3 hops on the right side. And now let's switch. Left leg up. Strength of the right leg hops you up. And you may notice a difference between sides, you may not. All right, if you've taken your 3 hops, come back down to child's pose. Knees can separate for extended child's pose. Forehead down. Take this time to reconnect to breath. Come back to that same steadiness. Reconnect to that sense of inner strength. Take 2 more rounds of breath here in your child's pose. And as you're ready, come up to your hands and knees. And then downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a breath in. And let a breath go. It's an inhale to prepare to move forward. Exhale, step or hop top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, mountain pose. Stand up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, thumbs to chest. Let your shoulders drop for a second. Reestablish, reaffirm your connection, your groundedness. And then inhale, arms up for mountain. And as you breathe here, flex your hands. So flip your palms up to face the sky. And so here we are in this sort of upside down version of handstand. And I know it may not feel like like it has much to do with handstand other than we're making the same basic shape. But you're sort of training your body to be in this vertically stacked way with your wrist flex. So you're looking for ankles, hips, shoulders pretty much in one line. And so now let's do the opposite. I stole this from a yoga teacher that I love very much, but let's add a little bit of a back bend here. So think chest up, hands just a little bit going back. And now before you move back into that straight up and down shape, think about what muscles will have to engage to bring you back into that shape. And then do it. Come back into that stacked shape of ankles, hips, shoulders, all in one line. Let's do it again. Let's add a little bit of back bend. And then back up to straight up and down. And now hands to heart center. And so it's a little bit of really light training. Oftentimes in handstand, we find ourselves in that slight kind of sway back. And we're upside down. There are a lot of things going on. We don't always remember how to get ourselves back into that more aligned position. So a little bit of training there. All right, so we're heading to handstands. Let's take an inhale for mountain pose, just normal mountain. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. You can throw in a crow if you like. Then exhale, chaturanga or straight to down dog, up to you. Inhale is the up dog if you're taking it. Exhale, down dog is where we meet. And now down dog. Remember, you could be near a wall if you like. I'm going to walk myself a little closer to this wall. Make sure there's a little bit of space if you're using a wall so your hands are not right up against it. I would recommend about a foot back, especially if you're newer to this practice. If you've done some handstands in your time, walk your hands a little further away from the wall so you still have it available, but it's not quite as available. All right, so hands where you want them, what distance from the wall if you're using it. Walk your feet a little closer to your hands so you can stack your shoulders right on top of your wrists. And so you already have, in terms of that stack of muscles, of bones, you already have one set ready to go. Shoulders on top of wrists. Make sure you're looking straight down between your hands. Remind yourself that your fingers are stabilizers. And now lift one leg up. Let's say it's right leg. Think about stacking hips on top of shoulders. Take a breath in. On your exhale, kick up. Don't worry about your legs. Just think about kicking up high enough to get your shoulders, or rather your hips, over your shoulders. And you may find the wall, and you may not. Use your hands to stabilize. Remember that core engagement that helped you to come back into an upright position. When you're ready to come down, land as lightly as you can. So let's give ourselves a finite number on this arm balance too. So let's say we take 3 or 4 kicks on the right side, 3 or 4 kicks on the left side, or no kicks whatsoever if this is not the shape for you today. If it's not the shape for you today, could be crow pose, could be seated meditation, could be something else you're working on. And we'll take another few moments here. Remember that fingers are stabilizers. So if you find yourself in that shape and you're wondering, like, how do I stay here? Your fingers help you to find that a little bit more length because they're adapting. They're changing as your center of gravity and balance is changing. One side may feel more natural than the other. Do the same number of kicks on both sides, though. And it's okay if they're not the same. It's okay if the degrees of success are not the same. They're not for me, for sure. But you're training a little bit of equilibrium there. And you're working towards an internal symmetry, if nothing else. Doesn't have to manifest as external symmetry. When you've had enough, or you've done your 3 or 4 on each side, this time we'll meet in embryo pose. Be sure that if you're still in your handstand, you're doing a breath. And so these poses are not, as I've said a couple times now, they're not end goals unto themselves. They're tools for teaching us about ourselves, and they're asking us not to nail a handstand or a forearm stand or anything. They're asking us to breathe with equilibrium, even when everything's upside down, even when things are calm. All right, so embryo pose, if you're ready for it. This time it's knees together, round down, so forehead down, arms long by your torso, palms up, shoulders roll down. In this shape, you may not find the same depth of breath as your knees are pushing into your chest a little bit. That's okay. You can still find steadiness. And if it's super uncomfortable, it's okay to take extended child's pose instead. So whichever rest shape you're taking, let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. And embryos, walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up to a seat. And let's meet in downward facing dog. I'm going to bring my mat back a little bit. All right, down dog. Down dog's take an inhale, lift your right leg high. And exhale, knee to right shoulder, same shoulder. And this time it's right leg high again. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to left shoulder. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold it here for the breath in. Press the mat away. Low lunge, step it through. Set your left knee down. If you have a block handy, bring it over by your right hip. So back knees down. Inhale, crescent moon, chest and arms overhead. Chest up, arms overhead. And then exhale, let's take a side bend. So right hand can come to the block, fingers can rest on the block, or hand can hang out in air. Stretch your left arm up and over. So we spent a fair bit of time thinking about front side, back side of body. Now let's add some space to the sides as well. And come back to crescent moon. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, airplane arms. So send your arms down and back. And let's add a subtle back bend in here. So shift your hips slightly forward. Lift your chest up. Maybe your gaze up, chin up. Have a sense of trying to lift your ribs off of your hips so you're adding as much space to low back as you can. All right, inhales back to crescent moon, arms up. Now tuck your back toes under. Exhale, low flying crescent. Lift your back knee, airplane arms. This time, inhale is warrior two, back heel down, arms out wide, front and back. And then exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Squeeze shoulder blades together. So add a little bit of a back bend here. Inhale, lift your chin and your chest. And exhale, humble warrior two, hinge forward. So chest will go down kind of at a diagonal on the inside of your right leg. Keep pressing your left heel down. You can always grab opposite elbows if that's better for your shoulders. Inhale, come back up to warrior two, arms out wide. Settle a little bit deeper on your exhale. Reverse triangle. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Left arm down. Stretch your right arm way up and back. And then exhale, hands all the way down. Your transition, high to low plank, maybe straight to downward facing dog. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. All right. All right. Down dogs. Inhale, lift your left leg high. Exhale, knee to left shoulder. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to right shoulder, twist. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Stack your shoulders on top of your wrists. Stay for the breath in. Step it through on the breath out. Set your back knee down. If you're using a block, slide it over next to your left hip. Inhale is crescent moon, chest up, arms up. Exhale, side bend. So left hand down, stretch your right arm way up and over. Big reach in your right arm. And feel space, hopefully, from your right knee all the way to your right side to your fingertips. And then we're back up to crescent moon. Inhale, arms up. Exhale is airplane arms back bend. So sweep your arms back, hips slightly forward, chest and chin up. And so here in this version of back bend, arms can relax. So you might feel like there's something lifting from the middle of your chest straight up to the sky. Rib cage lifting away from hips. Back up to crescent moon. Inhale, arms up. Tuck your back toes. Exhale, low flying crescent. Lift your back knee, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana two. Exhale, clasp your hands or grab opposite elbows behind your back. Inhale is a subtle back bend, chest up, squeeze shoulder blades together. Exhale, humble warrior two at the diagonal, hinge forward, chest melts down on the inside of your left leg. Keep pressing your right heel down. Inhale, rise back up, warrior two, release the bind. Sink a little bit lower on your exhale. Inhale is reverse triangle, straighten your left leg, right arm down, stretch your left arm way up and back. Then exhale, hands all the way down, downward facing dog or any transition. Last one. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And let a full breath go. Take an inhale, prepare to move forward. Exhale, step or float through to a seat. Come down to a seat on your mat. If you have water, now's a good time to grab some. And then let's meet down on your back. All right, once you're down on your back, let's meet with knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Cross your right ankle on your left thigh. Lift your left shin up. If you choose, you could wrap your hands around the back of your left thigh. You can choose stillness or a few rocks side to side. Up to you. And if you're rocking side to side, come back to stillness. Let's add resistance in the shape. So free your arms, but keep your legs the same shape. Wrap your right forearm around the outside of your right knee. Gently press your forearm into your knee and then resist with your knee. And stay for a breath in. And on your breath out, keep your legs the same still. Open your arms wide to a T. Keep your legs in the same shape and let them fall over to the left. And drop your chin over your right shoulder. Roll your hips back to center and then your knees follow and set your right foot down. Let's switch sides. Left ankle on your right thigh. Lift your right shin up. And you might choose to wrap your hands around the back of your right thigh. Again, rock side to side if you like it. Stillness if you prefer that. And rock back to center. Legs stay the same. Left forearm around the outside of your left knee. Add that gentle resistance, knee to forearm, forearm to knee. Good, and then legs stay the same shape, arms to a T. Take an inhale. On your exhale, legs go to the right. Chin goes left. Hips come back to center, knees follow. Uncross your legs, so feet flat on the floor, knees bent. Let's set up for a bridge pose. Arms long by your torso. If you like, walk your heels a little closer to your hips. Be sure that there's space between your feet. First round of bridge pose. With an inhale, lift your hips up. And as you breathe, you might walk your shoulder blades underneath your rib cage, left and right. It's an option then to clasp your hands into the floor. Feel like you're lifting, so from like your chest, belly, all the way up through your thighs, finding space across the front line of your torso. Let's take another inhale, maybe lift a half inch higher in your hips. Then your exhale, unclasp your hands, roll your spine down gently, tailbone comes down last. Let's take a few gentle windshield wipers, knees go together to one side, knees go together to the other side. And then bring your knees back to center. Take a moment in Supta Baddha Konasana. So press the soles of your feet to touch. Allow your knees to open out wide, butterfly. You might bring your hands to your torso again. A few quiet breaths. Take 2 more breaths to notice anything there is to notice. And draw your knees together. Let's take a moment in legs up the wall pose, Viparita Karani. So extend both legs up. Relax your arms by your torso, and I invite you to face your palms up. It's going to be a great time to acknowledge your efforts. Acknowledge your effort in being involved in the process. Acknowledge you showed up, that you're here on your mat, showed up for yourself. And so that act, that's a kind of resilience too. Now lower your left leg down, relax it all the way down to the floor. Right leg up. So we're in that reclined big toe pose again, Supta Padangustasana. And this time, if it's available, wrap your first 2 fingers of your right hand around your big toe, or wrap your hands around the back of your knee or your thigh. And now your arms are serving a different purpose. They're helping to invite more length into the stretch. They're assisting the stretch instead of adding resistance. Keep pressing your heel away. Keep engaging your right quads just a little bit. Invite in space. Invite in space to the back of your right leg. As you're ready, release right leg down and extend your left leg up. Same thing. First 2 fingers go around your big toe. Great. If hands go around the back of your knee or thigh, great. Assist the stretch now with the weight of your left arm. Two more rounds of breath on this side. And then gently release. Take a full body stretch, arms back, legs forward. Take a huge breath in. Exhale, gather your knees into your chest. Hands can go around your shins or your thighs. And if it feels right, you could bring your forehead up towards your knees. Let's take one more breath in here. Breath out, set up your Shavasana. You relax your legs, your arms. It's always okay to bend your knees. If you prefer your meditation seated, find a comfortable seat. If you're lying down, maybe walk your shoulder blades under. You could close your eyes. Shavasana is where we allow the practice to integrate, kind of steep our body in all that work that we've done, that asana practice. Give yourself this gift of a few moments here. Remind yourself of that inner strength. It's been my honor to be with you today. Thanks for your kind words, Sam. I'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody.